Well, my friends, welcome back once again to the channel. You know it is JJ with you on the build. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like button, and don't forget about the notification bell. So today we're on the live stream. We got a lot to talk about. And I was going to go fishing for the 50 series and see what it's all about. We're going to do a little bit of that too. We want to look and see what the 5090, 5080, 5070, and 5060. But we also want to see what's going on with this leaked 5080 Super, 5070 Super, and there's another leak about a 5060 12 gigabyte. That's going to be interesting coming along and see what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into it. We're going to see the specs of the 50 series and we'll go from there. So stick around. It's going to be a hot show. And don't forget your drink and snacks. I got mine. Because I don't want to get like laryngitis. So let's go to the action screen and see what's rolling there. I'm sure we got something good for you. Okay, now, since I got a mid-size cursor, and I know y'all are going to say, Jay, you forgot the cursor again. Yeah, I know I did. I wasn't prepared, so had a bunch of running to do. I had to change my shirt because it was all hot and smetty. There we go. Hello there, MTBK. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Okay, let's go over this really quick. 5090. It's got 21,760 cores, Blackwell generation. Tensor cores, it's 5th generation. It's 3,352 AI tops. 4th generation ray tracing at 318 T flops. Boost clock to 2.41 and base clock's 2.01. It's got 32 gigabytes of GDDR7 and 512-bit bus. This is where we go all the way down. Guys, I mean, truthfully, how can I say this? Okay. How can I say this? Look, I had my doubts about some things that are going on, you know. I had my doubts. And you guys are probably wondering, what am I talking about? Well, a lot of people are wanting to know about these new and fangled cards. I was going to take you through the whole read of the current graphics cards, but you guys already know that. That's not why you're here. But we'll keep that chart up for a certain reason. So let's kind of turn our attention to the 5060 12 gigabyte and see what's there. Okay, back at videocards.com. This says 5060 Ti. It should have been 5060. But from what I'm hearing is this says screenshot appears to show a 5060 and a 5060 Ti models. Interestingly, the 5060 has 12 gigabytes of memory, which is not something we have heard about yet. Technically speaking, NVIDIA could use 3 gigabyte GDDR7 modules on this SKU. Probably look a lot better than 8 gigabyte specs as rumored. Similarly, we're not certain if 5060 Ti is the 16 or the 8 gigabyte model. We do know the 8 gigabyte version should appear first. This is all what they've been stating from a long while back. But from what I'm gathering is that there might be a 5060 12 gigabyte. That's not going to be bad. if we want to look at it like that. I don't know, y'all leave your thoughts, but the thing is, I don't know if we're going to see a 12 gigabyte card. That should have came out first. And in the end, the 8 gigabyte should have came last, to be honest with you. Hello there, Demon. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, Jay. Please help. Okay, I'm watching. I'm listening. I'm a tech noob. I'm thinking of getting a 5090 base system, but honestly not sure if I should dump the 3K into it or not and get someone to build it. I'm worried about heating and melting cables. Okay. I know I don't speak for everybody, but I'm going to speak for myself. This is the best way to do it, is watch the reports on the ones that are mostly catching fire. I know that's something that you didn't want to hear. My opinion, I don't see a need for a 5090. The 5090 that they did roll out was supposed to originally be for content creating and, what do you call it? Machine learning. The 5090 and the 5080. That was originally on the SKU that was told to everybody in the beginning. That the 5070 Ti and down were going to be for gaming. So if you're going to want to get a 600 watt card for $3,500, you can probably get them in cheaper and stuff. This is how I best weigh this. Find out which one of the 5090s are not coming up and catching fire. Just to first say, there's going to be a SKU that's going to have different 5090s. Like, is Asus having a problem? Is ASRock having a problem? Or is it NVIDIA? Or not NVIDIA. Is it Gigabyte? Or, ASRock? Is it any one of those companies that are really weighing heavy on having the defective sockets? I would weigh it that way. That's one. It's just for gaming. I'm paying and play guy. I'm paying and play guy. I got you. It's not a problem at all there, Demon. I want you to understand. If I were to get a 5090, I would weigh my options. I would go online, do my research, and find out which of the 5090s from what company are most vulnerable to this problem. And then I would shift my direction and see what the reports are when it comes to the ones that are having the success. So that is where I would probably, if you got a lot of people having a success on one graphics card, then 9 out of 10 chances that's going to be for that one. But if people are having failures on this one over here, then it's not so much to shift your focus to that one because so many people are having failures. That's the reason why I always tell everybody, wait until after the launch, do your research to see where the problems are going to lie. And the problems with the 90 series, it seems to be non-stop with the 90 series. But what you can do to mitigate the problem would be to undervolt your graphics card. Keep the voltage down because, see, a technician from Gigabyte said it like this, and I think he's correct on it. He says the 12 volt high power connectors were only designed to do 375 watts, period. The size of the wire, the size of the connections, and everything else only designed to do 375 watts. So if you're looking to get a card and you're pushing it over 375, then basically you're going to run into that situation. But using like third-party connectors, don't use third-party connectors. Make sure you stay with the connector that's sent with your graphics card. But, you know, I mean, you just got to weigh your options. I mean, if you want to spend $3,500 on a graphics card, to me, I don't think it's worth it. Truthfully. I know, I appreciate you too, Damon. I appreciate every one of my members here. And the ones that watch as well. But I truthfully would wait until the Rubin series. I would wait until the Rubin series. That's the 60 series. Getting a 50 series right now, I wouldn't recommend it. People are having a great time with the 4070 Ti Supers, the 40 series. The only real problem with the 40 series is the 4090, because it pulls too much power. That's because everybody wants to put their meat fingers in there and crank it up, and crank it up. And all they had to do is undervolt it. All they had to do is undervolt the card, keep it below 375 watts until they come up with the solution of fixing the connector, which they did not. So, me, if I were to get a 4090, I'd take and undervolt it, keep it at a moderate, and I'd still get a great gameplay, having the right amount of horsepower as well. My CPU is undervolted. My graphics card, I am running it at stock. Well, actually, it's overclocked by the factory, but it's still stock. It's not overclocked by MSI Afterburner. I get great gameplay on mine with no problems. So, I mean, I run the 4070. You know I got another member here who runs the 4070 Super, which runs a little bit better than the 5070. So you weigh your options. But truthfully, if you're going to get a 50 series graphics card, you got to look at, you're not going to have a couple things with it. You're going to be missing things. You know, it's not reliable right now until they fix all these problems. 40 series cards have been tested, ready to go. They're reliable. 50 series, it's not so reliable. I mean, it's just my honest opinion. Hey, Chicken, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Let's see. I'm reading good things about the MSI Supreme. Yeah, they're not too bad. They're not too bad at all. They got their own... wait a minute. Is that the one with the cooler? It's got its own built-in water cooler? Or am I thinking of something else? I might be thinking of something else, but I heard the Supreme had a separate cooling system. That might be good too. That might be good too, to have a separate cooling system like that. But a 240 cooling system, 240 millimeter rad for a cooling system, ooh. But I can't count my chickens because the rad on mine is, 240 for my graphics card, but it's not water cooled, it's air cooled. So 4070 Ti is everywhere besides the 5080. Yeah, it is. I do agree with that 100%. Chicken says, I recommend if you get a 5090 undervolt and try to power limit to 350 watts. Chicken's got that exactly right. I mean, you're max pushing at the wires are starting to burn up at 475, 480 watts. Those connectors. So 375 I would push it no further than that. Truthfully, yeah, I do agree. I believe so, Supreme. Hyperfroze cooler. That might be a good one. That might be a good one there, damn it. But do keep in mind, $3,500. You can buy a whole PC all day long for $3,500. You can buy a whole monstrous of a system. Not unless you want to run your original system and you just want to slap a card in there. But right now, I'm starting to get that ish kind of thing, you know, where I'm thinking to myself, if he gets that 50 series and he plugs it into his current system and it's got PCIe 4.0 x16 and he's using a card that accepts 5.0 x16 and he's not getting the full bandwidth of the card, and it starts stuttering and everything else because it's not equipped for 4.0. It's just the motherboards don't have enough bandwidth on the 4.0 series. You gotta remember, this 5.0 series is double the amount of usage of the PCIe lanes. So it's doubling up and it's pulling a lot. So truthfully, if it's 5.0, unless it's a card that's pulling less than 165 watts, I would not power it on the 4.0 series. Anything above I would say max 200 watts, I would put it on the 5.0 series. When it comes to these newest graphics cards, you know, I mean, mine, I'm on an AM4 motherboard. I mean, with my 4070, but it's 4.0 x16. So, and 4.0 x16, so it runs fine. So, true for sure. My budget is $5K to match a decent CPU. Truthfully, instead of formulating so much into your graphics card, I would get a budget and say, okay, my budget for my graphics card, $1,500. Bottom line. And then the rest of the budget, put into your system. Basically. Because if your platform isn't solid and you go to run a high-end graphics card, let's say you want to bump up to the next generation, guess what? You're stuck on a low-end platform, like a 600 series motherboard, instead of going up to an 800 series motherboard, you know, getting an X870E, getting a 99 or 9800 X3D or 9950 X3D or whatever you like. I mean, but do remember at, what was it, Computex, they ran the 9950 X3D with the 5090. And it just barely kept up. Just barely. So take that with gold or grain of salt, because I seen what I seen in their live streams. Barely kept up. 9800 X3D, just, it's same. It's just teetering. So I don't know what to tell you on that. I have a gigabyte. End temps are great, but the material and design is not good as MSI, but it works great. That's cool. 2399 euro is starting price here. Now for an INO 3D, I have seen some for 2329 euro. last couple days. Yeah, I believe it. And be aware, do not get new gigabyte cards. Oh, yeah. If you will vertically mount, because they have a new issue with their thermal gel leaking out with gravity. You know, that's actually, chicken, that's been going on for the last couple months. That's not the first time. There was a time before. It's been going on for the last couple months. I guess the liquid metal was leaking out of it for the 5090. Something like that. Hey, Dakota, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the live stream. Well, I can tell you guys, if you're going to get a 5090, right, look at the cause and effect. Okay, one, you're going to be paying $3,500. Ask Dakota. He's got a 4090. He's happy with it. He don't have any problems with this 4090. So might want to get with him and ask him, because he just built him a great system. And I figured, Dakota, I refer him to you is because you got a 4090 and you haven't had any problems. So instead of spending double the amount of money, I would be looking for a 4090 that's within price range or reason. I mean, we're looking at what? A 16 to 10% difference between the two generations. See, there you go. He said he loves his 4090. I mean, yeah, the 50 series 5090's got the GDDR7, but there's still way much problems going on. There's still way problems going on. All the graphics cards are having problems. I mean, when they took out what do you call it? Damn, I keep forgetting the name of that. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of that. I'm gonna pop this up and see where it's at. Let's see. I keep forgetting the name. That's it. They took out the PhysX 32-bit from the graphics card. That's one. Two, the ROPS. Three, the stability on older systems. It's got a lot of negatives to it right now. And I mean, I understand, you know, NVIDIA did a rush job just because AMD was getting ready to put their stuff out. So they did a rush job on the 50 series. And it's a lot of rush job. I mean, stability wise, people are having problems with the software. And that's the whole reason why we're doing this video today anyway, is to get down to the crux and the bottom of what's going on. So that's why I'm talking with you guys today. Yeah, those 49ers are still 3K. Yeah, and the 5090 is 3,500. So, you know, like I told you, my plan would be to get a decent smaller card until they come out with something better. You know, something that's not going to break the bank. Hey, you could even go as far as going down to like you guys were waiting for me to say the 9070 XT, weren't you? You guys were waiting for me to say the 9070 XT. I know you guys were waiting for that. I would wait before you go to buy anyway, because if you want a 5090, I mean, people are having good luck with the 5080s, and rumor has it that they're coming out with the 24 gigabyte of VRAM 24 gigabyte of VRAM on a 5080. If that's something you're interested in, instead of the 16, you can go up to 24. That's another 8 gigabytes of VRAM. And hopefully the price will be pretty good too. It's supposed to have it's supposed to be a little bit better performance than the 5080 itself. So if they're adding more transistors to it, and they're giving it a better core count, and they're giving it more VRAM, you know, and they're pushing it closer to the 5090, there's too much of a gap in between the 5090 and the 5080. There's way big of a gap. So you never know. They might come out with the 5080 Super, a 5080 Ti. There is no 5080 Ti. They come up with the Super, the Ti, and then the 5080 Ti Super and fill the gap. They might do that. You never know. So there might be future cards in the window for NVIDIA, knowing they put a wide gap of how many cores in between each other. So might something to think about too. Hello there, Brain Dead. Good to see you, man. Good to see ya. Not much, man. Not much. Just getting down to the business. See, people want to know about the 50 series. Is it going to be great to buy it or not? I'm skeptical. I have my reasons to be skeptical. But for me to put my finger on it and say it's a solid buy right now, I can't put my finger on it. Nope. I won't tell somebody it's going to be the greatest deal ever, and then when they go and buy it, what happens is something comes out that's better. Like, here's a shocker for you. DeBauer, he's not sponsoring the channel for me to say this or any collaboration on this whatsoever. He tested the 6000 Pro, the NVIDIA 6000 Pro. That, compared to the 5090, made the 5090 look this big. It had almost close to double the amount of power compared to the 5090. Now, you think the focus should be there, but everybody's saying, oh, it's just a content creator card, it's just for machine learning. The 6000 Pro series. Yeah, but tested with games and got rocked, the 5090 did. Guys, if I had the 10 grand, that's how much it cost. If I had the 10 grand. Some people are saying 8 grand, but if I had the money, I would have bought it. Just to test it, but I would need a hell of a system to test that. Truthfully. Let's see. Braindead says, I waited for 2 years, like you kind of mentioned, with the new AI chips, sets, everything, perhaps with being on Gen 5. Yeah, I mean, Gen 5 is one thing, but you have to look at the whole picture. You have to make sure you have enough CPU horsepower to make the 5090 worth your time and money. I mean, why spend all that money if you're not going to use half the things? That's the thing. People buy a whole bunch of equipment and say, okay, I got everything, I put it all together. And then what I hear is people say to me, how come your PC's faster than mine? And I got this graphics card. I don't know. Maybe it's because you didn't need all that other stuff in the first place. I try to keep it basic and simple. I mean, next board I'm going to go up to is going to be a B850. A series. An A series. I like the A series myself. Or I could go to the P series, the Pro series, but I like the A series. Asus hasn't done me wrong, so I like the Asus motherboard. The B850 Strix Pro, yep, the Strix Gaming, the B850. That's my next one to go to. But I'm also hearing in 2027 on the horizon, motherboards might be changing to a new socket. So that's kind of got me to where I'm on the pause. If I'm going to decide to go up to that 800 series socket, or am I going to wait until 2027 for the next generation motherboards? It's coming, guys. There's nothing we can do to change this. The reason why they're going to be coming in 2027 is because Microsoft's turning everything upside down with their software. You know, I'm lucky to be here today because of the Microsoft updates. I took a chance and installed the updates. I'm just making sure I'm stable at this point. It's crazy with Microsoft right now. And also on top of that, they're gonna be upping the game with AI intelligence with the neural processing units. So there's only going to be two ways we're going to be able to get neural processors. One is if we upgrade our CPUs to have neural processing built in, or two, NVIDIA gets a finger out of their you know what and says, okay, well, we got AI tops built in onto our GPUs. Let's find a way to implement it. Either way, we're going to end up having to have AI tops for the future of Windows. That's what it's coming down to. So, I'd pay max $1,200 for a 5080 Supreme. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I feel unless somebody really is using AI, it might be worth it, but more VRAM, a little drop in FPS is honestly not a bad thing. I agree with that too there, Brain Dead. I do agree with that. I don't need max FPS. You really don't. Anything where you got your 1% lows above 60 FPS and you got your, you know, your average FPS up over 60 to 100, you should be fine. I'm sure you're not going to have 60 and 60. You're going to have like between 60 and 90. So, yeah. I mean, if you're playing your game and let's say you're getting 100 FPS, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to have balls to the wall just to play your game. If you have it set moderately and you balance everything out, the key word is balance. And that's what I don't see. I hear everybody, oh yeah, I pushed it to the max. I pushed it. You pushed it so hard to the max and now you're crashing. I don't get it. Explain to me that. I don't get it. I can set mine on moderate and play games all day long on 6 gigabytes of VRAM, and my GPU only at 61, 62 degrees Celsius, and I can rock all day long on my PC. I don't see the real big problem with what I have here. And I know most of you guys are already into AM5. I'm not. I'm still in AM4. I think I'm only getting 80 to 90% of the potential of my graphics card. But my 5700X is pushing it, and it's giving me everything I need. So I really don't see it. I don't need max FPS. As long, and brain dead, as long as it, and you said it right, as long as it's decent quality and no stutters or artifacting, you're perfect. Plain and simple. Stuttering, quality, artifacting. As long as you got quality, as long as you got no stuttering or artifacting, you're done. And if you want to make sure that you want to balance your stuff out, you can get MSI Combustor. MSI Combustor is a good program to put a load on your GPU to make sure that you got a good balance. I did that. I ran mine for about 4.5 hours to balance everything out, to get it running right. I had no problem. That's why I can run Cyberpunk with no problem. That's why I can run all the games. And Control, that's a new game that I got from that Mr. Machine there. That was a good game too. I played that and I enjoyed it. You know, the whole idea is building a PC that you're going to enjoy for the future to come. And if you can't enjoy your PC because you hear in your ear everybody saying, oh, more power is coming, more power is coming. How much power do you need to get from your PC, from your fingertips, your meat fingers, to your PC, to your screen? How much more do you need? Latency? Chop your latency. See whatever is causing you latency. Chop it down. Lower the latency, the better your gameplay. There's one part everybody seems to forget. Some people are running, oh yeah, I'm running 60, 70 60 or 70 milliseconds of latency. I run between 6 and 12 milliseconds of latency. That's it. But when you're running 60 to 70 to almost 100 milliseconds of latency, that's no good. That's no good. You're killing your game. You're killing your computer. You need to find out what's causing all that latency and chop it. Chop it or fix it. Whatever you want to do. So, AMD is really behind in RAM. Cam 2 RAM is the future, and Intel has a great support. Yep, they do. Hopefully AM6 does as well. I haven't heard anything about Cam 2 coming to AMD anytime soon. That's the problem. AMD does not want to go up to GDDR7. AMD does not want to do Cam 2. There's a lot of things, and AMD doesn't want to use the 12-volt high power. See, you got to remember, AMD just put themselves on no man's land, while the whole world is moving past. So, you think throwing more power at a GPU with an older architecture is going to make it faster? For how long? It's not going to last long. It's going to have a shorter lifespan because it's going to degrade that silicon. And now they're coming out with carbon fiber silicon. Carbon fiber silicon. We'll see how that goes. Yep, you're right there, MTBK. MSI Combustor is free and you can download it, and it is a good program to use. I use it with OCCT. That's another good program, OCCT, for testing, checking the stability of my RAM, my CPU, my GPU, everything that's going on with my PC. OCCT will check your stability. And you can be in Windows doing it. So, hello there, Carlos. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good evening right back. So guys, let's get back to this little thing we're doing here about the 5060 12 gigabyte of VRAM. Let's see if there's any more information we can find out. Well, let's see if we can find out any other information. So 37.99 RMB is what they're saying. So NVIDIA will today lift the embargo on some of the GDC 2025 related content. RTX Technologies board partners were told to expect RTX 5060 series update as well. We cannot fully confirm at this time. So looking at that now, you know, I'm gonna switch the gears a little bit. Here's the talk of the town. How come it seems like everybody says AM4 is dead, right? But it seems that AMD just came out and popped out a 5500 X3D for Latin America. And you know, over time, it's going to be coming to the United States, so we might as well just get cracking on it. 6-core, 12-thread processor. It has some utmost, it's AM4. So it's a Zen 3 architecture with the same 64 megs of first generation 3D V cache. That means total L3 on the SKU is 96 megs. So that's not bad. Same specification as the 5600X3D. I got the 5600X3D I got from Micro Center. So it's nothing new. So, but they do got a 5500X3D that's 105 watts. So 300 or 400 megahertz slower than the 5600X3D, boost up to 4 gigahertz, which I got the 5600X3D to go up to 4.50 gigahertz. The 5600X3D. Don't ask me how I got it there. So, but we'll go to the clock chart. You know, me, I would go for the 5950X myself. Even though that's 2020, it's still a good GPU. It's got 105 watts to it. But I got the 5700X right here. 4.6 gigahertz, 65 watts. It's 65 watts. It's not bad. You know, you get the 5600X3D, 6-core, 12 threads. 4.4, but you can push it up a little bit more. 105 watts. So, and then they got the 5500 GD. They got the 5500 GT. Okay. And then right now they got 5500 X3D. Not a bad steal. Price wise, I couldn't tell you guys on the price. Don't know. But what else caught my eye was this, the 7600 X3D. So this is what surprised me. It's only, I mean, it's got a great boost. I mean, 7600 X3D. So comes down to it. It was launched on August 30th, 2024. For some reason, I feel like I missed something. And everybody kind of didn't see the MSRP at $300. I missed something. So, let's see. FTBK says, just recently heard about the existence of the Ryzen 5 5500 X3D. Can't buy it in Germany. Well, you can't buy it in the United States neither. It's Latin America. That means over in Mexico. So, Chicken says, how are loading times and snappiness with your 5700 X3D? No, I got the 5700X, bro. Chicken, I got 5700X. Mine's just as snappy. I don't have a problem gaming. I don't have the X3D processor, but I got the X processor. It's just fine with me. I don't see a problem with it. But this one has a PPT of 88 watts. My 5700X has a PPT of 91 watts. And it's a 65 watt processor. Mine's got the same multipliers and everything else right here. I don't get it. Mine's boosted to 4.850 gigahertz. My 5700X. This is only 4.7. And I carry mine gets only like 63, 65C loaded. So, I don't know. For 96 megs and all that for $300, mine was only like 160. When I bought it, it was like 165. When I bought mine, it was 165. So, yeah, we were there. But I don't know, guys. I mean, what do you think? What do you think? 7600 X3D. It's not like it's going to gain traction or anything else. I still think the 5800 X3D AM4 is going to be better than the 7600 X3D. Why do you think they discontinued the 5800 X3D? For the simple fact they knew it was going to overtake all the way up to the 7800 X3D. So they canned it so they can sell more CPUs, more X3D processing CPUs. That's what I think they did. So, just something to think about. As long as you don't see any issues, no need to upgrade unless you want to. Well, I don't have any issues with my PC at this point in time. No. Mine runs fine. It runs fine. I don't have any problems. I think it's really cool that when I use DSR, I can move up in the world. I'm at 1080p. The hardest you can run on a PC compared to 1440p and 4K. For your CPU, I run the hardest on my CPU. The hardest. Because I'm always at 1080p. So, with it going through that much stress every day, content creating and everything else, and I still got no problem, I don't get it. But I could hear in the whispers in the wind that people are still having problems with the drivers. But I did do a video on the fact of what the problem is. It's a multiple combination of problems combining with the drivers. And it's dealing with Microsoft Windows software. The problem is still in the software. And Microsoft has not mitigated the problem yet. And everybody started pointing fingers at NVIDIA. One, they still didn't fix the problem with the the G-Sync, not GeForce, G-Sync. That's still a mitigated problem. Another problem that arose was that they allowed everybody to control their own kernel protection unit. So what I had to do was spend a day or two in my PC, and I had to rip out the anti-cheat program from Valve, Steam. I had to completely remove it in order for me to turn on the protection system for the kernel. Once I turned it on, I was able to reinstall everything else, and I was said and done. But I was running into a little bit of problem with the anti-cheat program dominating the kernel system, causing lag issues and everything else. That anti-cheat is nasty, very nasty. And that's causing instability problems. It can even cause instability problems with your GPU drivers, believe it or not. That's the reason why I put the kernel under protection, full protection, so that way I don't have to worry about it being slammed by that anti-cheat program. And on top of that, with Windows updates, that wasn't too great neither. So it's a multiple combination of everything. And if your PC is not balanced correctly, you would never see it, and it would just crash. Your PC would just black screen and crash. You wouldn't know why. It didn't make sense to me for 50% of the people telling me they have no problems. It's because that 50% I know knows how to balance their system. And then you get your other 50% that's telling me they're crashing and everything else, and they don't know what to do, how to fix it and everything else, which I told them how to do it. If they did it, then that's up to them. If they didn't, that's up to them again. But it was swinging back and forth, 50-50, and I had to figure that out. And my conclusion is that the anti-cheat software was slamming the kernel protection system. And you know that in your Windows services, it'll automatically shut down the graphics card. It'll automatically shut down the system if the kernel feels like it's under attack. And that's a part of the operating system for Microsoft Windows. So if it feels it's under attack, especially if you're running the anti-cheat program, and Microsoft just had a whole bunch of SKU on that. They just did a new patch for the anti-cheat program. They just did a new patch yesterday. So I figured I'd save it and wait and talk to you guys today about it. So the CPU load on a lower resolution like 1080p is only higher if it results in higher FPS. I know mine always does, man, so it's not a big deal to me. If there's any FPS cap, by example VSync, which I never run, the load stays the same. A CPU doesn't care about pixels, and you're exactly right. But it's still got to decode and send the information to the graphics card. So it has to load. It has to load onto the system RAM. It has to load off the system RAM. And it has to decipher the information to send to the graphics card. Then the graphics card picks it up and then decodes it the rest of the way, puts it in polygons, sticks it into a box, shoves it down the wire, and says, "Here you go, monitor. Eat it and like it." Yes, we know. That's just basically putting it that way, you know. So, yeah, we do understand that. But Valve's got a serious issue with that anti-cheat software, especially it's coming from Epic. You know, Epic anti-cheat. And I'm going to tell you guys, That was the anti-cheat I had to rip out of my system, and it took me a couple days to get it all out. And it was from Epic, not Valve anti-cheat. Valve has their own anti-cheat program. Valve uses that for most of the games, but it seems Epic uses their own, which is intrusive to your PC. It's intrusive. If you go and read their terms of service, you'll be shocked in how much they try to pry into your personal life from your PC. I found that out. I had Epic downloaded to my PC. I found that out. I ripped all that out. All that out. Any of their games that uses any of their crazy software, I won't play it. Anything that's got to deal with Epic, I don't want to deal with it, because they're too intrusive on, you know. They might have great games and everything else, but the thing is, they're too intrusive on your personal life and trying to bust into your system like a bunch of hackers. I don't like it. Just my opinion. Let's see. Predictions on price of the 6090 3 years later. Prediction. Guys, you want the prediction. Let me pull it up for you. I'll show you the prediction. I'll show you the prediction. Just give me a moment. Okay. Now let's go back to the magic screen here. Here's the prediction right here. NVIDIA RTX Pro 6000 Blackwell leaked. 24,064 cores. 96 gigabytes of GDDR7 memory at 600 watt double flow through cooler. That's the 60 series. Part of it. Just to give you an idea what it might look like, this is still the Blackwell series. But the thing is the Rubin series is going to be coming out in the 6000s too. So they say this one is the closest to the Titan that they got. So 575 watts, but it'll pull up to 600. It's got 3 gigabyte chips. Says it has 2,304 more cores than the 5090. But so looks good on paper. Looks good on paper. I don't believe this. Guys, look at this. 55,000 ADA, 5880 ADA. Right here. 5880 ADA. It's an AD 102. Some ain't making sense here. But that's GB 202. Oh, that's right. This is the Ada series. But why would they have a RTX 6000 Ada? Did I miss that? I must have missed that too. 5880. I don't know. You guys tell me. I mean, this card is just a monster. I mean, that card is just a monster with 96 gigabytes of VRAM. 96 gigabytes of GDDR7. That is a beast. That's a beast. So, you guys tell me what you think about that. I mean, I can't get my head past it. I don't think they're going to get something bigger than that. That's the whole thing. If they're declaring, from what DeBauer said, the card was $10,000. $10,000. And that's a 6000 series. So could you imagine for them to do a 6060 or a 6050? That's going to be close to what? If they using that kind of things right there, damn. I mean, even a 6050, the craziness they could push it at could be $3,000 if they really push their mind to it. That'd be a hell of a low-end card. Feel what I'm saying, guys. Feel what I'm saying. Because if you look at the math, I know MTBK is looking at the math. If you look at the math and you start breaking it down, their lowest end card could come up to $3,000. Their lowest end. If they were going to push it like this card, the Pro Series, they could wind up having a whole slew of the whole Pro Series cards and mark everything up. Because if that's 6000 series, I could imagine what they would have for a 90 series, a 6090. That would be a monster compared to this. I can see it now. NVIDIA comes out with a 6090, having a total of, you know what? I'm just going to get my damn calculator out. Sitting there thinking about it. So if they're saying the 6000 series has 2464, they would need three times that amount. So 24064 and times that by 3. So they would need a card with 70 if they really wanted to push it and be really crucial about it. They would need a card with 72,192 cores. CUDA cores. That would be a monster. But I don't think they would be paying $30,000 neither for it. That would be around about $35,000 for a card like that. Trust me, I'll tell you what, if a card ever got up to $35,000, I would give up PC building altogether. Tell you why. It's not worth it. At that point in time, for that kind of price, If you got to pay $35,000 for a graphics card, hey, that's not worth it. So, at this point, people would prefer integrated graphics with pocket money and let AAA games market close the books. Yeah. People that the 1%ers want those kind of graphics cards, so be it. My focus is staying around the $600 range because I feel around the $600 range, that's where your best cards are. You know, I said that 2 years ago. I'm going to say it now. Not unless you want to spend $1,000 on a 9070 XT, which you'll have about a couple years of fun with, and then it won't be enough. What if most of your games come with ray tracing? Do you think it's going to be enough? It's not going to outmatch NVIDIA. NVIDIA based their whole house on ray tracing. So, kind of got to look at it like that there, ladies and gentlemen. What's going to be the best for you? Are you going to be happy with what you have and just roll with it? Because truthfully, I'm not looking to buy it. If I buy something for the channel, I'm going to buy it for the channel. You know, for you guys to look and witness and see what's going on. But for me personally, I don't have a personal computer. Not yet. I haven't built mine yet. I built this one for the channel. I didn't build it for me. I don't use it on a personal basis. Most I use on a personal basis is my telephone. And that's talking to everybody on Discord and stuff like that. Researching everything I do right off my phone. But this is for content creating and testing gaming for right now. And then when I get a new system built, I'm just going to make that new system just for testing PC parts, period. So, and then later on down the road, maybe, just maybe, I'll build a monster of a system. Maybe if, no, I'm not going to do that, you know. I just, when it comes down to it, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together, guys. We'll figure it out together. Like the subscribe button. Don't forget about that. But let's see what else. Yeah, if gaming GPUs cost $30,000 at people's incomes, you wouldn't be able to help anyone. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, there's no way you can help anybody after that point. When it comes down to the end of the day, you couldn't afford a whole PC, because right now CPUs have a hard time keeping up, and AMD is still back 1 or 2 generations when it comes to CPUs, because the way NVIDIA is pushing forward is they're moving past the capabilities of AMD and Intel CPUs. Guys, you're just gonna have to take it just like it is. And I'm telling you, I mean, they're not keeping up. Especially with the NVIDIA having like a 6000 Pro series GPU. 9800X 3D struggled with that thing. Struggled. Especially on GPU intense games. And it struggled, from what I heard. So keep that in mind. I mean, everybody's like praising the 9800X 3D, the 9950X 3D. But guys, it's not enough. I already know this for a fact, it's not enough. And then everybody's going to be waiting for the new Strix Halo or whatever else is going to come out next from AMD or Intel. We're all still up in the air about Intel. We don't know what they're going to be doing. It's kind of a throw it up in the air and hopefully something sticks and it comes back kind of thing. So, but you know, people are not going to have that kind of money. I already had somebody email me, what was it, 2 days ago, asked me the same question everybody else in the whole PC world is asking. Jay, are the prices ever going to come down? Yeah, they're going to come down now, a little bit at a time. So right now, they're just milking it a little bit at a time. And the less people that are buying graphics cards, the faster the price is going to come down because they can't keep these things in stock. They keep it in stock, they lose money. And if they're losing money, then they're going to take and chop the prices down to like almost at cost because they can't afford to keep it on the shelf. That is their biggest drawback. They make too much, they sit it on the shelf, and it sits there accumulating income. So that's negative income to them. If they can't get it off the shelf and get it into a customer's hands, then it's just collecting negative income. So basically, they're losing money per month having these graphics cards sit in a warehouse. If they sit on a shelf, they're losing money. So, who knows? I'm just surprised that nobody brought up all this stuff about what we're talking about here today. Even about the 5070 Super. Let's see if we can find something about that. The 5070 Super. I will find it. I didn't see nothing yesterday. Okay, well, we'll go with this. Okay, get all the pop-ups out of the way. Okay, so what it's looking like in the gossip around the news, that the 5080 and the 5070 Super variant inbound with 24 gigabytes of VRAM and 18 gigabytes of VRAM. So MSRP, who knows? Because if you're looking at the 5070 now being over close to $750, I mean, you're adding 6 more gigabytes of VRAM, so basically you're adding about another $200, $300 in cost. So now they're going to shovel out a 5070 Super that's over $1,000 to $1,100, maybe $1,200, because the 4070 Super is running around on an average about $1,100 right now. So I don't know if you guys are going to want to buy something like that. And the 5080 Super, if it's, what, $1,500 right now? The 5080 Super, no, 5080 Super is a little more than that. What is it, about $2,300, guys? $2,400, somewhere in there. And they want to take it from 16 to 24 of VRAM? That's another 8 gigabytes. So they're at dead cost. They're probably going to ask another $600 on top of the price of the 5080. So you could be looking at a $2,900 card, maybe. Are people really going to pay $2,900 for a 5080 with 24 gigabytes of VRAM? Well, Stupid question me for ask, because they're paying for the 5090, they're paying like $3,500. So, hello there, Fake Frames. Good to see you. I saw it in the store. Yeah, I saw it and just kept going by. I didn't even want anything that high of cost. I mean, if it takes you and you can build a system for $1,500, a decent system for $1,500, then there's no sense of spending $3,500 on a graphics card when you can build the whole system for $1,500. My system cost only $1,200. So you got $600 for the graphics card and $600 for the platform, plus the tax to bring it up to around $1,300, somewhere in there. But it works for me. I can add to it. I still got room to add. I can upgrade the CPU. I can still upgrade the system RAM to 4,000 megahertz. I did see 64 gigs of RAM at 4,000 megahertz CL18. That shocked me. 4,000 megahertz at CL18. That's what kind of drew me to thinking about the system RAM for this computer. I'm thinking about going up to the 4,000 megahertz. That'll push me closer to AM5 for far as the frequency, as it only starts at what, 4,800 megahertz for the AM5. So, and if I push it to 4,000 megahertz with the only lacking 800 megahertz to the AM5, I don't see why I would need to go up to a 7500F or a 7600, because I would be pushing more close to that at that point in time. So I would be pushing pretty close, I do admit. Guys, you ain't saying much. What's going on? How's everybody doing today, by the way? Whew. When you talk for like an hour or so, you kind of bringing yourself back into perspective here. I want to see what's going on with you guys. Go ahead, lay it on me. I know you guys got something out there. Lay it on me. I'm just trying to get my head back into perspective, so my head's always in perspective, somewhat. And get that out of the way, like that. So. Give me a moment, guys. I'm looking for stuff. See if there's anything new on the news. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. I forgot to tell you guys. Intel is ending the life on Alchemist. Here's the article on that. Intel's ending the life on Alchemist. EOL. Starting from June 27th, Intel will no longer accept orders for the Arc A750 limited edition. They're also a second EOL for another variant of this card set for June the 30th. It's important to point out that this does not seem to affect the ARC A750 GPU itself. If we are reading this correctly, Intel is only discontinuing the limited edition. How many times have I heard that being said? They're supposed to be discontinuing the limited edition since, what, a year and a half ago? This is Intel's own reference design, so this PCN may not impact custom board designs. They give you a whole list of what's going on here. And it's past June 12th, it's June the 14th. They give you a list of what they're doing. Looks like they're doing the A750 8GB box. They're doing the Pro A30. A530M, never heard of it. The 770. Never knew there was a 570, but I guess they got a 570 too. Looks like any card that they have that are 8GB of VRAM, they're discontinuing it. I guess they learned the factor of, let's go back to the main screen. I guess they learned from the factor of NVIDIA and AMD getting hammered over the fact of the 8GB of VRAM cards. So I take it that's the reason why they're discontinuing some of those cards, is because they got 8GB of VRAM. So tell me, guys, what you're thinking about it. That is only for this A750 LE model. Yeah, but the thing is that's not all the news. That the leaks that were spreading around in the beginning was stating that they're going to discontinue all Alchemist cards, all of them, from A to Z. That's what I heard in the beginning. So obviously they're taking a different approach on this now. That now it's just going to be Founders Editions, I guess. Yeah, once the stock runs dry and they use or buy different manufacturing node wafers. Yeah. If a die shrink isn't worth it, their old GPUs go end of life. Yeah. But also, too, if they got broken up silicon, extra silicon, that they're going to start patching and pasting and giving it to everybody. Basically, they're going to sell it to you at, at a decent cost, but you'll buy something broken sooner or later from these companies. I've already got 2 broken CPUs from AMD. Do they still work? Yeah, they still work. But for how long? Who knows? So, yeah, I mean, you take a chance when you buy any PC part. Doesn't matter if it's brand new, doesn't matter if it's old or whatever. When you buy it, you buy the aggravation, basically. I would discontinue Alchemist because of its architecture in terms of performance and program compatibility. Yeah, I do agree with that. They have faster stuff selling and in making. Yep, they're best off to just cut all A series, all Alchemist series, and go right to Battle Mage. They learned their lesson on the first one. Now they're probably not, they're already making a couple steps wrong with Battle Mage, but that's expected. they're still a little bit behind on where they need to be with the software. But hopefully with Celestial coming up, they do a lot better with that. I'm still waiting for the fact that them coming up with a card that has 32 gigabytes of VRAM. Everybody was sitting there saying it'll be a B770. I'm waiting. That's what I'm waiting for. Battlemage has more driver issues and more problems than Alchemist right now. Then what I'm trying to understand is, why is everybody praising the damn things if it's having so much problems? It doesn't, it's not computing. It is not computing whatsoever. How come when they did the benchmarks on it and they tried to make all the AMD and all NVIDIA cards look this big, and all of a sudden now it has problems, driver problems? Maybe it has engineering problems. Engineers can't get their butts together like NVIDIA and get out the correct drivers to make it work great. That's the problem. Those manufacturing teams need to get it in gear, because all they're doing is they're making themselves worse and worse and worse when it comes to getting a better graphics card. And every time they say, well, we're going to take and put AMD out of business and this and that. Oh, AMD's got crap cards. But you know what? Intel needs to basically look into the mirror and see what they see in that reflection. They're costing themselves their own base, making these obvious, stupidest claims I've ever heard. So people like to fanboy over new Intel GPUs as if they're the savior. Well, they do the same thing with AMD. Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA. Everybody does the same thing. Everybody fanboys over everything. Me? I'm a fan of the hardware. I don't care what name of company it's got on there. I'm a fan of the hardware. If it works, I'm going to tell you. If it's bad, I'm going to tell you. If it's nasty, I'm going to tell you. So no matter which way you look at it, I'm going to tell you if it's good or bad. I'm not going to lie to you. If my 4070 was a crap card, I would have told you. But so far, it's not. This is the only card that I've seen out of the whole lineup that I really liked. Even compared to over the 4090. The 4070 is one half of the 4090. So it's got high-end chips, and this is where everybody got it wrong with the 4070. I'm using mine as an example. My 4070 is a mid-grade card with high-end chips. The same chips that are used in the 4090 are used in the 4070. So I got the best deal in the world. And if you got a 4070 Super, you got even a better deal, because it inches yourself closer to 4090 speeds. So my 4070 gets great speeds, and it gets great FPS, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about the sudden crashes and all this nonsense. I don't have to deal with it. Don't have to deal with it, because I'm happy with it. That's all that matters, right? If you're happy and you're gaming, and just go with it. So, just looking at the numbers of a B570 or a B580 would be a decent upgrade for my 45 watt RTX 4060. Yeah, it would. But you got to look at the thing. Look at your 4060 and how many lanes do you got? Here's the caveat. The B580 and the B570 only carry PCIe 4.0 x8 lanes. They carry half the lanes. Not 16, x8. So that's basically, you're getting laptop speeds. Better laptop speeds than a 4060. That's basically what you're getting, laptop speeds. See, that's what I try to tell everybody. You know, when it comes to the PCIe X8 and X16 lanes, I always gonna tell you, go with X16, never X8. Never. Because if you go X8, you're doing nothing but getting laptop speeds. Even though you hear people say, oh, it doesn't affect the speed of nothing in this. Yes, it does. It's just they don't see it because they're running a CPU that is so high, it's taking up the slack of the X8 lanes, the missing lanes. If you're running a 9800X3D and you're missing 8 lanes, you're not going to see the difference. But if you're running like a 5700X like I'm running and you run 8 lanes, oh, trust me, you're going to see the difference. You will see the difference. Guys, I want you to understand something. AM4 has a high-end side. I'm going to explain this. AM4 has a high-end side, mid-grade, and low-end side. Okay, it's got 3 buckets. Low-end, mid-grade, and high-end. Okay, and these 3 buckets are just like AM5. They got the same buckets, but at a higher frequency. So if you were to get a high-end AM4, don't think it won't do just as good as the mid-grade AM5. Look at the 5800X3D. It can still hit AM5. It can still hit well above its belt. Or if you got a 5900XT or a 5900XTX. Or no, not a 5900. Well, that's going to be coming soon. I'm waiting to see if they do that. AMD comes out with the 5900 XTX for AM4. That would be crazy. I was just thinking that the other day. I was just thinking that. 5950 XTX. That 5950 XTX CPU. That would be nuts. That I would love to see. Since they already come up with they're coming up with all these X3D parts. But you know what they're doing with this is they're using old silicon that they scraped off the floor. You know how when you when meat packing place scrapes off the stuff that's on the floor? I'm not going to try to gross you guys out. They scrape whatever's on the floor and they shove it into the hot dogs. If you ever wonder what a hot dog come from, it's usually the scraping on the floor. So if you get paint chips or something like that, it's not my fault. That's just plain gross, really. So you don't want to get no paint chips in your hot dogs, just like with your CPUs. You don't want to get some, scraped up silicon and hopefully that when you get it, it works. But that's what they seem to been doing for oh, got an itch. That seems what they've been doing is picking up the pieces. Because remember, TSMC had an earthquake over there. They were still picking up the pieces with all the silicon that they lost over there. They were sitting there cutting out wafers from the silicons they can use. You know, the big discs. They were sitting there cutting out what they can use, and they were selling it off. I guess they were selling it to NVIDIA and AMD. So, who knows? Who knows? But it doesn't look like there's much other news about today, guys, unless you heard something that I didn't hear about. You know, I haven't heard much of anything. Like the 50-50? We can talk about the 50-50? I don't think we touched on that. I'll have to look. We can talk about the 50-50. Yes, I'm bouncing all over the place because there's not really that much news. So, NVIDIA preparing for the RTX 5050 desktop GPUs with GDDR6. Yeah. So we got a 4060 that's a 5050. So we got a 4060 that's a 5050. 8 gigabytes of VRAM. It'll be a GB206. Does it have anything special? Let's see. That's what it says. Mega size GPU says, this is somewhat unusual because the DT RTX 4060 features a single phase design for the memory. So it's going to be the same thing. I bet you what they're going to do is they're going to take and up the model. They're going to take and up the model on software and take a 4060, convert it, and make it like a 5050. I know it's not the same architecture because you're going from Ada Lovelace to Blackwell. I know that. But I'm just saying, in a kind of a sense, that's about what it's going to be like. Fewer cores, so to have 2560 versus 3072. 3 plus 2 phase VRM. Wow, that's really rich. So it says it's got 2560 CUDA cores, 8 gigabytes of GDDR6, memory clock's 20 gigabits per second, memory bus 128-bit, memory bandwidth 120 gigabit, TDP at 130 watts. That's it. There's nothing really special about it. Other than it getting the transformer model and all the other goodies, but that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, there's nothing that special about it. My GPU has 16 gigabit GDDR6 memory, and it clocks lower most of the time. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, remember, the maximum amount that they can get from GDDR6 is what, 18 gigabytes per second? 18 gigabits per second, something like that, whatever. GDDR6X can get all the way up to 21 gigabits per second. That's 21 gigabits per second. And then when you go to GDDR7, you're at 28 gigabits per second. And that's across the board. So, is there anything special about the 5050? No. Is it a card that you might buy in the future? Yeah, if it was like $200. That's about it. $20 GB/s is the fastest GDDR6 RAM VRAM currently with the 9070 XT. Yeah, I know, but that's pushing it. They're really pushing it. They should have went to GDDR6X. They should have went to GDDR6X. They could really optimize the amount of RAM on their graphics cards then. Then that would have really been a beast for them. But they didn't. They decided just GDDR6. So, same as the RTX 4070 with GDDR6. No. No. That's where I'm going to say no. Let me pull this up close to you. Make sure I point this out correctly. GDDR6X memory. Mine's got the 6X memory, the 21 GB/s. Mine is faster RAM than theirs. So. Now, you're thinking of the newer 4070 non-X memory. Yeah. That's on a slower model that NVIDIA made, which was a dumpster fire. This is the original model with the 6X. And the same memory that's being used with the 4090 is being used with the 4070. So. Oh, not yours? I know you love GDDR6X memory, but later versions released with 20 gigabits instead of the 21, which turned it out that the other one they made only was doing between 18 and 19. A dumpster fire, that's what that was. So, I didn't like the downgraded version they did. I heard nasty rumors about it. It's like, nah. The GDDR6 RAM 4070 is a 3070 Ti in performance. You should have said it was the GDDR6 RAM 4070 is a 3070 Ti in disguise. I would have said in disguise. That's what I would have said. But you're right. It's about that. I mean, it's like the 4070 Super is like a 3090 in disguise. Except for the VRAM. So, but yeah, guys, I mean, we can go on and talk all day about this, and still comes to the end of the day. Guess what? All the 50 series right now, I'm waiting until the 60 series. I'm not gonna think about $3,500 to $4,000 in a graphics card that doesn't meet the standard of your top-end gamer, or even if you're low-end gamer, it doesn't meet the standard. I don't think it does. I really don't. Because the fact of what they took away. And they said that the 50 series was based upon machine learning. And they meant every graphics card in the 50 series was set for machine learning. Does that do anything for the gamer? That don't do damn shit for the gamer. Not one bit. It just makes the gamer upset. Because they're wondering, they don't want, see, no gamer wants anything to do with the AI. Unless, you know, you're a content creator, then you can understand where the AI comes from. But when it's just strict gaming, ain't nobody want to hear about what the AI is doing. Everybody wants to hear about what FPS I'm getting or what kind of textures I'm getting. As long as I'm having no issues, I want to know what my textures are giving me, and I want to know what my FPSs are giving me. Everything else is immaterial. And I've heard this many of times from many of people. So, oh, it's a 3080 Ti, which is still good performance for the price. Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. Well, Machine, he has it. He has a blast on it. I mean, seriously, he has a blast on it. He loves it to death. I mean, I think that's the best choice he made compared to a 5070, which I think '5070 is no better. Don't even say it's better than a 4090. Don't even. I know you guys are sitting there thinking that, you know, is it better than a 4090? Maybe if it's machine learning. Maybe that's what Jensen forgot to tell everybody. If it's machine learning. Maybe. Compared to the 4070 Ti, I don't like 3080 Ti much. Yeah, because all the problems they had on the 3080 series with the Hynix chips, that they had to go get the graphics card repaired a lot because of certain Hynix chips. I think it was from what, 2018 or 2019 or something like that. I can't remember, but it was something like that. The 4090 beats the pants off of a 5080. Yeah, I hope so. But you know, I'd still like to see that once again, that the 5090's pants get beat off of them with the 6000 Pro. So you know what I mean? 6000 Pro, 5090, boom. You know who would stay right there? People would buy this. People would buy the 6000 series. So if I'm seeing that it has better performance on the 6000 series, the 6000 Pro, than it is the 5090, the 60 series is going to be a better graphics. I hate to say that. That's what's coming. And I think that's where NVIDIA is going to pour most of their effort into the graphics cards, is for the 60 series. I have that feeling. I have that feeling that they're going to, this new generation that's coming up next, that's going to be the generation that they're going to really sink their teeth into and really buckle down this time. I have that feeling they might. And if they do, and they sink their teeth in hard to that 60 series, then yeah, we will have great cards. Yeah, it's time for some beefier silicon. Still, I can't blame anyone for buying any hardware now. Yeah, I know. It's about, you know, it's all about the good and the bad. You know, everybody wants to have that golden silicon. Everybody wants to have the golden silicon ticket right there. Boom, golden silicon. Everybody wants the best of the best of the best to be the best on the best they play their games. Understood. But that all depends on these companies giving everybody that royal carpet treatment. But obviously they don't. They don't care. It's all about the money. You don't have the money in your hand, they don't know you. I mean, if you don't have the money in your hand and they're looking at you and they're like, what's this? You're holding a whole dollar. They're like, you need to fork over more money. And if you don't, you get what you get. So, but I'm thinking to myself that, you know, they're pushing up the minimum level for entry-level graphics cards. They're pushing it up to $600 at least. At least $600. If they push it any higher, then people are going to stop buying. Nobody wants to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for an entry-level graphics card is what I'm trying to tell you. So, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Alrighty there, ladies and gentlemen. We are wrapping it up right here. But I wanted to say it's been a pleasure being with you guys today here on the channel. I'm wrapping it up a little bit early. $600, yeah, but for what if it's so cheap to make? RTX 5050 can't even do 75 watt tops. No power connector. Yeah, I know. Like I said, they got a lot of work to do. But anyway, Mr. MTBK, we can catch back up on the Discord channel. And if anybody wants to become a Discord member, let me know and I'll send you a link. You can either leave me a message on the video and we'll get with you and we'll get you the link right away. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it here for the day. And don't forget, I'm going to be doing live streams through next week as well. I'm trying to work out the times that's best for everybody. And it seems like that 6 p.m. seems to be like the really good spot between 6 and 8 p.m. So we're probably going to be working for that as well. No need to worry about a horror scenario like this. You do graphics nightmare every week. Yeah, I know. It's same always, bro. Same always. It's always going to be a nightmare until something comes good. And then, you know, everybody's going to come out with the angel hat and the halo and wings. And they're going to be holding a can of Red Bull. You know, stuff like that. Who knows? But until they start showing me 100+%, 100+% and going upwards with the amount of performance. Until then, this nickeling and diming 10% here or there for every new generation, it's not cutting it anymore. People are tired of it. But anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. But if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Don't forget about the notification bell so you know when I post the next video. And if you want to become a part of the family, just hit the join button. It does help the channel. And if you want to support the channel, there you go. I'm still working on many videos for the people been asking me to do how to build series. So I'm working on a build series, you know, how to from start to finish build series, which is called the PC Masterclass. So I am working on it, so we will get there. But anyway, guys, you have an awesome day. Try not to do anything I wouldn't do. You probably would. But anyway, we will see you on the next video. Take care until next week. Don't forget, Saturday is always noontime. So we'll catch you then. Be safe.